I have been in PR about 4 years, not including stuff that you did at uni, but I mean everybody does that. So 4 years, a year in London and 3 years here. Oh God, I would love to tell you an awesome answer, but I don't have one. I decided to leave London, picked 5 companies that I thought looked interesting, and Weber Shandwick were just responsive and useful. I mean, most people were responsive though, so that's not really true. I don't know. Top five. Reached out to them, thought it looked interesting. I liked the fact that Weber Shandwick seemed like thinkers, so the thought process behind a communications campaign seemed stronger than the agency that I was at in London. So I found that quite fascinating. Be prepared to work hard and suck it up. I think some people, not all people, think that it will be easy and that you won't have to work over hours, and you won't get shut down by journalists who are just mean and bitter. So I think be ready to experience the peaks and the troughs. And I think also with public relations, I mean, it's so general. It's about communicating to people. That's literally all it is. It is so broad. So as long as you know that that's what you want to do, then you're pretty set. It's just figuring out how you want to communicate to people. So whether it is an event, or whether it is representing a personality, or whether it is guiding a business to help engage their consumers better or their employees better. I think it's so broad that if you know from the get-go it's about communicating better to people, then you're fine. I think it ties back to the behaviour change, the fact that it's very powerful. I think when you compare it to advertising, for example, where it's just showing people things, it's really just you're making people look, whereas PR, you're making people care. So you tell them stories that are relevant and that will shift their behaviour, so they think differently about your brand and therefore change the way they act. And I think I've seen how it can be done for some very good purpose organisations, and also just for day-to-day business, your big pharmaceuticals and FMCG companies. I mean, it's to be able to just increase cereal sales through some clever tactics, some clever PR tactics. I don't know, a range of things, but being able to change people. That's so easy because it only happened last year, last December, and it was amazing. It was best ever. We were engaged by the Department of Justice in Victoria, who deal with all the natural disasters. And because of all the floods and the fires that had been so destructive over the previous years, they wanted to get their social media channels in order so they could communicate to the Victorian community what to do when there was something wrong, if their house was on fire. And so it was amazing. We looked at all of their social media policies for the fire department, all of their emergency services. So I think we worked with about 8 different government agencies that dealt with emergencies. And we took them through a full day of training, and it was amazing. And the guys that came up to us afterwards, they were just so thankful because they had experienced the previous year when there was devastating floods and fires and not being able to manage people on social media, and they felt a loss of control. And to kind of flip it a year later and to be at that point where you're learning and you're really making a change was really nice.